Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Knessa coming to you from the home studio today on this, the 25th day of July in the year 2023. Sure hope you're enjoying your Tuesday, no matter where it is you are in the country. Here in the Northeast, 87 degrees, very cloudy, and chance of thunderstorms today. Tony Mondero says between 3 and 7 today we could expect some storms. Kind of hope that doesn't happen, but it could very well here. So be prepared for that. He suggests considering alternate plans if you plan to be outside tonight. So we'll see what happens there, but a nice day otherwise, I guess, here in the Northeast. As you do every Tuesday afternoon, you welcome me into your home so that I can bring you this week's newspaper, and the front page is busy this week. First, it is Peruvian Independence Day on the 28th of this month, and there have been several events in Kearny that have celebrated Peru, including the flag-raising ceremony, the parade, and Barbara Goldberg shared some beautiful pictures that she took from that event that we have to share with you this week. And then National Night Out comes up on August the 1st. August 1st has always been the day for National Night Out. And what's interesting is this is hard to believe. National Night Out has been going on for 40 years already. 40 years. And it's been going on in Kearny, for as long as I can remember. It's certainly not something new that has just come out in the last couple of years. It's been at least 10, 15 years that National Night Out has been celebrated in Kearny, if not longer. So this is something that has become an absolute staple, not just in Kearny, but all throughout the country, where people will celebrate the night out, and there's all sorts of activities planned. Vanessa Sevillano from the Kearny Police Department's got a lot planned for the event that will take place at Veterans Field, and I'm sure that's the same in other towns. So if you're not doing anything on August 1st, make sure you head to one of the festivities in your town. It's a big day, and it's a great time to meet members of the police department, and also to get out and meet members of the community as well, for people to get out and to do some fun things as well. And of course, there are a couple of this was one of the most intense crime weeks that we've had in a long time. The first is there was, as many of you probably already know, there was a shooting in Kearny on Quincy Avenue by Trinity Place last week. The man who is responsible for that shooting is from Freehold, and fortunately was hauled into custody by Detective David Bush on Friday afternoon and was sent to the county jail. And I don't have this officially yet, but I've heard from some pretty reliable sources that this all was precipitated by a road rage incident in that neck of the woods. There was a car crash reported, and good God, what can you do in this world anymore? But it's, I guess, a sign too that if you get it, road rage is very common. It's very hard to avoid, I guess, because there are so many stupid, horrible drivers out there. But it's just not worth getting into an argument that could cause you to get shot, for crying out loud. But that happened also last week. Then there were a couple other incidents that were pretty remarkable. There was an 18-year-old Kearny boy who was arrested for arson. He was charged with starting a fire at a large building on Devon Street in Kearny. They caught this kid, too. There were surveillance videos taken of him. Fortunately, the fire did not get big, and it was put out by members of the staff of that building and with fire extinguishers, so nobody was hurt, but that could have been an absolute disaster. 18 years old, too, was the suspect, but he was taken into custody, fortunately. And now this one was bizarre. The app Grindr, it's Grindr, is an app for LGBTQI plus members, and there were two men in two separate incidents on 2 days last week who used the app to, I guess, plan a date. And then when they arrived on the scene, they were beaten up by three people, two adults and one juvenile. You at first, on the surface, might think that a crime like that was a bias crime, a crime of opportunity. It was not. The people who were charged in this case are apparently users of the app, too, members of the LGBT community. So It was not a biased crime, but they savagely beat these two guys who thought they were going on a date. Instead, they got beaten up, and there were weapons involved. Nobody was stabbed or shot or anything like that, but it was a severe 2 cases of aggravated assault, and it is good that those people were taken into custody as well. So some very, very graphic stories coming from Kearny over the last couple of weeks. And I want to thank Mike Guntarchuk, a detective sergeant who is the new KPD Public Information Officer, for sharing these incredible stories with us. It's important to know, and the Kearny Police Department continues to be extremely transparent about the things that are going on. It's very, very unfortunate indeed. We move on to the inside of this week's edition of the Observer. Tomorrow, the Reverend Al Sharpton will be in Jersey City to deliver the keynote address to a diversity and inclusion conference. They're calling it a retreat at Hudson County Community College. Dr. Jelani Cobb, who many of you may have seen at times on CNN as a commentator for civil rights matters and things of that nature, will also be speaking at this conference. It's not too late to get tickets if you want to see Reverend Al, or if you want to see Dr. Cobb speak, and that again is tomorrow at Hudson Community College. And I think Sharpton's speech is at 10 tomorrow, but double check because I forget very easily. A lot of times parents say, what do I do in the summer with my kids? Now, they're in Lyndhurst, and this is the case in all towns too, because it's the same at Kearny Library and many other places, but this just happened to be sent to us, so I've turned it into a story. The Lyndhurst Library's got a lot planned, not just for kids too, but for adults. There's a lot going on, including the ability to take out hotspots a week at a time, so if you don't have internet at home, things of that nature, you can take it home with you and use the hotspots. And there's a lot of great things going on, but I got to make this very clear that it's not just the Lyndhurst Public Library where this is happening. I know Josh Humphrey's doing a phenomenal job with programs, and I'll share some of that with you next week, too, about what Josh is doing at the Kearny Library. Lots of things going on. So if you're looking for stuff to do during the course of the week, you can always get it done in our town. So check that out, page number 3. The Fire Prevention Week is in October, and the theme of the Prevention Week was announced this week. Check that out on page number 4. This is an advertising supplement for several businesses about summer road trips and things you can do to keep your car safe. Several businesses that will do tune-ups. You can get insurance. Debbie Bjorkner's Auto Detailing Center's in there, so I hope you check that out. Nelson's Auto Body. That is on page 5. We have a couple of letters again this week from several readers, including Larry Hanlon and North Arlington man Ryan Martin, who is coming out in great support of the Essex Greenway. I'm not so sure how much support he's going to get, but in concurrence with his letter, but check that out. This is, of course, the story that I mentioned to you earlier. And there's been a lot of police stuff going on, and as it happens every year, I'm going to be going next week to the Kearny Junior Police Academy. Essex County's got one. Rob, Florida brought this to our attention. The youngsters there and things of that nature. Just about every town in our neck of the woods has a junior police academy. We've spoken already in the paper about Nutley's. Now this one in Essex County. And I've been invited to join the Kearny Junior Police Academy on their trip to the World Trade Center Ground Zero with Marty Nystrom next week. And I'm very, very, very much looking forward to that, as I have not been to Ground Zero since, I think, 2009, if you can imagine that. I've kind of stuck away from there. Jason Bernstein has sports this week. I always say this is a tough time to do sports in local level, but he has some great stuff this week, so I hope you'll check that out. And as we do each and every week, 2 pages of classifieds, so if you're looking for a place to rent, if you need a job, anything of that nature, you're going to find that on pages 16 and 17, as you do every week. This, just briefly, I want to let you know, the Sons of the American Legion in Belleville are a very active organization. Rusty Myers and his group do phenomenal work, and their officers for the 2023-24 year were recently sworn in, so we have a brief story about that you can check out as well. And, of course, this is something you already saw, the arson story from earlier that I had mentioned to you. So that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Observer Live. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me, as you do every week. Of course, if anything breaks during the course of this coming week, we will join you live if and when it happens. But otherwise, we'll be back 1 week from today from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com. Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here 1 week from today and very, very soon. Take care, everybody.